Welcome to Furniture Clinic. In this video, we're going to show you how to repair the damage to a car bolster caused as you get in and out of the car. You can see how the leather is scuffed and faded, but with a little time and effort, this damage can be repaired to look like new. This is achieved using a leather colourant kit, a three-stage process to restore or change the colour of all types of leather. When a repair is made, the repaired area will look like new, and since we're only repairing the bolster of this car seat, it is important to clean the rest of the leather using the Leather Ultra Clean to make sure it is as clean as possible. This will help make the repaired area blend in better with the rest of the car seat once the leather has been repaired. As you can see, all you need to do is spray the cleaner into a sponge and rub it into the leather. This simple process removes all dirt, grease and grime from the leather surface. Once the leather has been cleaned, we can proceed to the first step of the colourant kit, preparing the leather. To do this, pour some leather prep onto a cloth and wipe it over the leather. This is a solvent-based cleaner that will remove any contamination on the leather surface such as grease, oil, silicone or wax. It will also remove the manufacturer's finish that is applied to the leather from new, helping to provide a much cleaner and smoother surface to repair. As you use the prep, you will notice that it removes the colour from the leather surface. This is perfectly normal and just indicates that the product is doing the correct job. Like most repair work, you have to make the damage worse before it gets better. All leather in car interiors is painted, and so the majority of the scuffing and scratching is in the painted layer. It's not actually the leather that is damaged, but the painted coating sitting on top of the leather. Using the leather prep removes most of this painted coating, and in doing so, it will also remove any cracking, scuffing or scratches in the painted coating sitting on top of the leather. If the leather is more severely cracked than this, you can use an abrasive pad to remove the finish quicker. Once you have used the leather prep, you need to wipe the surface down with the alcohol cleaner. This is just a further treatment to ensure all of the contaminants have been removed from the surface. The combination of using both leather prep and alcohol cleaner 100% makes sure that the later applications of colour will perfectly adhere to the leather. For a perfectly smooth finish, give the leather a gentle rub over with 1200 grit sandpaper. This will help to further reduce any damages, and it will also remove any residues from the surface to ensure a lovely finish when the colour is later applied. The next step is to mask off any areas that you don't want to be coloured. This is best done with a combination of cloth and masking tape. The leather in this car is white with contrasting black stitching, so it is important that we mask the stitching off too. Otherwise, it could ruin the look of the car when it is coloured. If, however, you wanted to colour the stitching too, the kit is perfectly suitable to do that. The next and most exciting step is to apply the colour. Each bottle of colour is made up of several different colours, and so it is very important to shake the bottle thoroughly to make sure they all mix together properly. The colourant is applied to the leather with a sponge. To do this, put a small amount of colourant onto the sponge and gently rub it into the leather. The first coat is applied this way as it helps to work the colourant into the leather, making sure to reach all creases and hard to reach areas. The aim of the sponge is to create a base for the spray-on coat to adhere to. We're not looking for perfection at this stage, so don't worry if it looks streaky or smeary. Either let the colour dry naturally or dry it instantly with a hairdryer. We now set the airbrush up, ready for spraying the colourant onto the leather. There are 4 pieces to the airbrush: the airbrush repellent can, the hose, the can adapter and the airbrush itself. Firstly, connect the airbrush hose to the can adapter and then attach the adapter to the can. All pieces screw together. You then attach the other end of the hose to the underside of the airbrush and make sure that you tighten all fittings as tight as possible to prevent any leaking. The airbrush kit has been designed to be as easy to use as possible, and as you can see, only takes a minute or so to put together. At one end you have the can of propellant, which is used to power the airbrush. The can then releases pressure through the hose that comes out of the airbrush to spray the colourant onto the leather. When the airbrush kit has been set up, Take the glass jar off the airbrush using the easy release function so it can be filled with colourant. Shake the bottle again and pour a small amount of colourant into the jar. It looks like a small jar, but surprisingly, it holds enough colourant to spray a full seat squab of a car. Reattach the glass jar to the airbrush and then screw down the screw on top of the can to release the pressure through to the airbrush. Our best advice is to test the spray pattern against a piece of cardboard first to make sure it is spraying well before proceeding to spray the leather. Once you are happy with the spray pattern, you can then start to spray the car seat. The car we're repairing is a Range Rover, and we have all modern colours for this and many other car colours already match in our database. To check to see if we have your colour, visit the colour chart section of our website. If we don't have your leather on file, simply send a piece in to us and we'll do an exact colour match on it for you. When you're ready to spray the leather, angle the airbrush about 6 inches away from the surface and spray the colourant onto the leather, moving slowly from side to side. When you're spraying the leather, spray in short bursts, releasing the spray at the edges. This avoids building the colour up at the sides of the repaired area. Once you have applied the first coat of colourant, dry the area off with a hairdryer or allow it to dry naturally. As you can see, we make all our colours very strong, so it doesn't take many applications to restore the colour. As you gain more confidence, you can start to spray the leather quicker and closer to the surface. The aim is to apply one thin coat to the leather, enough so the surface is slightly wet, but not so much that it starts to run. If you do get any runs or splashes, just dab them off with a sponge. Additional coats can then be applied as necessary. The next and final step is to apply the finish. This is applied with an airbrush and is available in 5 different sheens depending on how shiny or how matte you want the end result. The leather on this car is quite dull, so we'll be using the matte leather finish to seal the colour in. Matte will also reduce the shine of the colourant, making it blend in better with the surrounding leather. The leather finish seals the colourant in, providing an additional level of protection to the leather. This ensures that any repairs done with our kit stand up to the test of time. And for extra peace of mind, our products have been tested by the BLC Leather Technology Centre to confirm they meet the British standards with finished leather. Shake the bottle of finish thoroughly and pour it into the glass jar, ready for spraying onto the leather. The finishes are thinner than the colourant, and so they will spray out of the airbrush quicker than the colourant. For this reason, when spraying the finish onto the leather, you should spray it on from a distance of about 10 inches away from the surface. Apply the same thickness coat as the colourant and dry it off with a hairdryer. We advise applying 3 coats of finish for thorough protection from scuffing, scratching and staining. You can also let the finish dry naturally, but it is important to make sure each coat is dry before applying the next. The surface will be thoroughly dry within 30 minutes and ready to be used. However, the finish will continue to strengthen over a 3-day period before it is at its strongest. This repair has taken about 30 minutes to complete, and as you can see, the interior looks like new again. To help prevent this type of damage from reoccurring, it is important to clean the leather on a quarterly basis and to apply the leather protection cream to help reduce the damage caused as you get in and out of the car.